Hey, BPD warriors. So today we're going to talk about the nine criteria for borderline personality disorder diagnosis. So the way that it works is there's nine criteria, and if you meet five of them, then you are considered somebody who struggles with borderline personality disorder. So the first one, it's going to come as no surprise, is fear of abandonment. So this is like real or perceived abandonment. This is either like physically being left or feeling rejected by a situation or a circumstance or a person. And that one hits us really, really hard. Number two is going to be like intense and unstable interpersonal relationships, which goes right back to that fear of abandonment and fear of rejection. And this is like seeing somebody as completely perfect or completely not perfect. And that's our all or nothing thinking. And it can really like bulldoze our relationships. Number three is going to be the distorted sense of self, also known as identity disturbance. For some of us, like myself, I have like 7 different personalities that it's not like they take over. This is not like schizophrenia, but they identify like more strongly with different situations, depending on like what I'm going through. Then we also have like a big one, which is impulsivity and recklessness. This kind of shows up in the 3 S's. That's going to be substances, sex, and self-harm. These are things that like the consequences aren't considered. It's just like recklessly chasing one of those items just because like we're not considering what the full outcome would be. And then unfortunately, like we also deal with a lot of suicidal ideation or behaviors. And this is recurrent. This isn't like one time someone struggles with dark thoughts. This is like when we hit that rejection, it spirals all the way down to why am I here? What is the point? Nothing will ever go my way, which does bleed into another one, but it gets that deep for us where we're in the depths of a spiral and we just can't see that light will ever happen again. Another one is it's called affective instability, but that's the intense mood swings. That is from 0 to 9,000. There's like, and even though we get triggered, and to us it's very obvious what the trigger was, it's not very obvious to those around us. So it just really looks like we're losing our minds for nothing. And it's something that all of us really have to be aware of so that we can be like, oh, that's what other people might consider to be crazy. We can't always stop ourselves when that's the case, but we have to actively be on guard to look out for it. And then like chronic feelings of emptiness. And this could be despite anything else that's going on. You could be in the middle of a fair with your family and you could just feel worthless. Just that one's so hard because there's not really like a way to just cheer up and feel better. You kind of just have to let it pass. And this one really worries those around us because we do struggle with the SI and SH. It's one that like, just, you kind of got to find a place. For me, I like to kind of get lost in a show or lost in reading. Be in somebody else's world for a while so that I can just kind of let go of all of the stress that I'm feeling about my own. Then we have like inappropriate or disproportionate anger. This is just because we have that fear of abandonment, because we have that fear of rejection, because people are all or nothing, when we get angry, it is hard to, it's hard to not feel all of the things that have led us to that, like, same feeling in the past. So the person right now who has done the thing to make us angry is getting the anger that we felt, typically the anger that we felt that went, like, unaddressed. So, like, in the past, when we've been like, I've been hurt like this before, and the other party was like, no. So, especially if we've been gaslit in the same area, now the newest and latest version of that feeling gets the back wave of all of the times we've felt that, on top of our brain saying, this is all you will ever know. This is all you will ever feel. You deserved this for some reason. And then, like, the biggest one, or sorry, not the biggest one, but last one, number 9, is paranoid or dissociative symptoms. So delusional thinking, which is that it will never be different. It will always be like this. It will never be good again. It'll never, and it doesn't only apply one direction. Like, we could be experiencing something positive. I'm like, oh, bad things just don't happen. It'll never be bad again because we found a solution. And borderline isn't a chemical imbalance. Like, yes, we do have ways that our body doesn't handle chemicals well, because our moods shift so hard, but it's a survival, like, it's trauma based. So our brains learned how to survive in different ways. And so it's really, like, it's really hard to learn how to break that, because our brains are like, this is what you need to do to survive this situation, which is not, we don't have to be in survival mode. We just have to learn how to not have to be in survival mode. And one of the things that's so tricky with borderline is that of these 9 symptoms, like I said, you only have to have 5 of them, which means there's a lot of different various ways that this can present in different people. I'm an overachiever, so I really experience, like, all of these. That's just what it is what it is. But not everybody has all of the different struggles with the different symptoms. So trying to understand and work through BPD, for me personally, there's something called dialectical behavioral training, DBT, and it really helps learning different ways to manage when you're in what it's called crisis, when you're in crisis. So DBT is phenomenal, and I'm going to be talking through different skills for that as well throughout this, but I really wanted to touch on, like, what makes borderline. So having 5 of these 9 criteria is really what does it. All right. Thank you so much, BPD warriors. Love yourself because you are worth it, and I will see you later.